couple years back, I made a video for my students that were struggling with getting outside. It was in the middle of the pandemic. I was worried my students weren't really engaging much with anything other than video games and this kind of stuff, watching YouTube videos. And I was worried, and I wanted them to experience, or at least take on an opportunity to just do something. You weren't really allowed to go places back then, and it was hard for anyone to feel like they could go further than their backyard. And so I proposed this idea where you would just focus on a little section of your backyard. So that's what this video is. You can watch the old video that I made. It'll be linked up here somewhere. Let's just get to the basics of what to do for this. It's a pretty simple activity. All you're going to need are some pencils or sticks or stakes or anything, some kind of sticks of any kind. You can use tape to tape off your area, and a notebook. And that's it. It's pretty simple. So you're not going to need a whole lot for this. And of course you need a place in your backyard that you can kind of section off. The whole goal with this activity is to really focus on the micro level of nature. Often we go out into nature, we kind of ooh, the trees, the birds, the whatever, the stream, that's all gorgeous and it's a lot of fun. We rarely get down to the tiny level, and sometimes we don't really pay much attention to sometimes even what seems to be the most boring areas. And so find something that would be seemingly boring. I picked an area of my garden, which is probably as boring as it gets. It's just dirt. There's some old plants that have died off. By the time I filmed this, it's covered in snow. I've done a couple of video time lapses of that area. The next thing I did is I pulled out my notebook and I just wrote down everything that I could think of, that I could see. I made a little sketch, a little map sketch of what it looks like. The goal was it's really to document this little space and to watch it over time and to see what changes. In the video that I made for my students, the first thought that came, because that's just how my brain works, the first thought that came to me was, oh, this is kind of like a little map of this little land. And I gave it a name. I love Scotland, and so I gave it some Scottish names and kind of zoned it all out. I'm not going to do that for this video. This one is just really an intro video. I will follow up with this video with future videos to kind of to talk about the progress. But I just wanted you to see where I'm starting with this little project. And I want you to follow along. If you're a parent or a teacher or even a student at home, this might be a great opportunity for just a simple lesson to explore the outdoors in the tiny little world. I'm going to follow up on my little world as time goes on. I'll have to change it slightly when we start planting things in my tiny little world, because it is in my garden. But you'll be able to watch it from, go from winter into spring, into summer, and then back to winter again. That's my goal, is we kind of follow the progress of this little space. And you can do the same with yours. That's it. This is a pretty simple video. It's really just an attempt to give you an idea of an easy, very cheap activity you can do outdoors. Costs you nothing, and there's lots to learn from this little space. Hope to see you on the next video where we follow the progress of my little square space. See you then.